So I am going to start with a 3.5-inch Zentangle tile, whatever you're using today. I'd like you to take a moment and look at the paper. I'll let you know what tools I'm using in a moment too, but get your paper out and just look at it, breathe, take a couple deep breaths in, feel the paper, notice it, turn it over. I'm going to keep that side up because in a moment I'm going to write on the back, but I will be using an Micron 01. Of course, you can use anything you like. And I'm going to have an 05 ready for some inking in if I need it. And I've got my pencil and tortillon. And that's it. That's all I ever use. I'm very basic with Zentangle. So the first thing I'd like you to do before you pick up your pen or pencil, maybe just shake out your wrists. I'm just shaking my wrists out. Shake out your body. We're not going to do a meditation because I'm going to really bring you into a nice calming meditation as we draw. But I do suggest just shake out the wrists, get comfortable in your seat, take a nice deep breath in, maybe a stretch. Relax. And I'm going to write on the back of my tile my name. So I suggest writing your name if you have a title and today's date, which is the 2nd, and where you are. And I'm going to put Rejuventangle 1 year B-Day party. So I always like to know where I was, the date, and my name, because sometimes I'll pick up a tile and I'm like, did I do this? Well, I guess I did. I know we always signed it too on with the chop, but then I'm like, well, when did I do this and where did I do this? So that's what I like to do because that's what I was taught. Okay, I'm going to cap my pen. I'm going to give you a quick glance on what we're doing today. Something like this. Of course, I have different versions because with Zentangle, there is so many possibilities. It's endless, and we just have so many ideas, and you'll have an opportunity to bring in your own ideas as well. You can see with this, I'll repeat this as when we get there, but my main thing here was toying with what we're going to do in this section. This is pretty much the same and the pattern down here. But one thing at a time, I just like to give just a quick peek, because we really want to focus on being in the present moment. Zentangle is all about letting go of the outcome. Whatever happens, happens. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pick up our pencil. And I'm going to invite you to take a breath, and with each breath, put a dot in the corner of each tile. Now, I'm going to go as far as I can with my dots. And just really do this slowly. Just relax. Get used to turning your tile. With each dot, breathe in and out. I'm going as close as I can to the edge. Really doesn't matter. This is just what I'm doing, what my inner artist says to do today. So getting some dots in those corners. Nice and slow and relaxed. Breathing in and out. And now we're going to connect, and I like to use the side of the pencil, connect those lines, and I'm going pretty lightly because the pencil, this is just our string, well, our framework, and it's all meant to disappear later, whatever we do in pencil, until we shade. Focusing on that stroke. Notice how the pencil lands on the paper. How does the pencil feel in your hand? This is Zentangle is all about being mindful and in the present moment. Breathing, relaxing. Now we're going to draw our string. And with our string, I'm going to draw a curved line, but I'm starting a little bit, I'm not going to go right to the corner. If you do, it's okay. But I'm going to start a little bit uh, to the right of the corner, and I'm just going to draw this arc line, and it lands a little bit down there. Again, it doesn't matter where it lands, just giving you a guideline of where I'm going. If you want, you can watch me do the whole string first. And so I'm going to do another one here and here. Let me just do the string so you can see where we're going. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. So it's really just 4 lines. And this is important that you do these lines in pencil. And this went a little awry, but that's okay. When I say awry, it was a little bit bigger space than I planned, but it doesn't matter. It's Zentangle, and everything happens the way it's supposed to in Zentangle. And now, once you've got that, so you've got like 4 lines. If you're working on smaller paper or bigger paper, maybe you'll fit in some more, but you can see they have a good amount of space. Now I'm going to take my pencil, still keeping my pencil. I was going to take my pen, but you know what? Yeah, let's just take the pen. You can use your pencil if you want. I'm going for it. I'm going to take my pen, and I'm going to draw a C shape from this corner in this section, just a curved line C shape. Now you might, if you want to watch where I'm going with this, you can do that. The next row, I'm going to do the same thing, but reverse direction, C shape. And it doesn't matter, I started here. It doesn't matter if it's centered or not. I'm just starting here. What you want to do is continue on. So now the next line, reverse, just like I did the first time. The next row, reverse, and then there. Out of 61 people, I can only see 1, 2, like 6, but I can fix that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to leave some space. So I'm going to do one here. So I want a good amount of space here. So I'm going to, this now in each row, they go the same direction. So we're repeating what we just did. So that curved line, the same direction as this. And now this one here, now we want to leave some space. This is not an aura. This is going to be like a grid. It's almost like a grid, but a curved grid. We're going to be doing some cool stuff in here. And then we got that, right? So it's all the same. We're just repeating what we just did. And that will be like that. Now don't fill up this whole section. Stay with me. And now I'm going to go on the other side here, doing the same thing. Stay with me. Don't go ahead. Okay, because that's all we're going to do for this. So there's 2 sections in each row. Now let's draw a line just so we can know where we're working with. I'm going to just cross, just where those 2 sections are. So the pencil line stays beyond the outer. So we're going to just close off, tracing over the pencil line that we drew as a string, but just on the insides here. We're leaving these outside of this grid. We're leaving the pencil grid. Just these 2 sections we can close off with our pen. This looks so cool already. Let's take another deep breath in and out. And now in each section, we're going to draw a box. And I'm shooting for the center of each of these. It's just a little box. I'm going to show you. I'll bring this back to give you an idea of what those boxes look like. They're not very big. So I'm going to ask you to focus on each stroke as you draw that box nice and slow, relaxed. Giving each stroke your undivided attention. Making sure you're not holding that pen too tight. Your shoulder is relaxed. I say shoulder because of the one I tend to tense up the shoulder that I'm writing with. Well, not that I'm writing with the shoulder, but you know. So just relax, drawing that box. And if you are, well, actually, it doesn't matter. Whatever pace you draw at, I'm going to suggest, make an invitation to you to slow down a notch. Take it down one notch that you're used to. Just a little bit slower than what you're used to drawing. And now we're going to color in those boxes. Taking our time. I like to go in little circular motions. So I have a brand new pen, because I always like to teach with a new pen for whatever reason. And so I'm barely touching the paper. The ink flows so nicely. Let's see if we can slow it down. I like to slow it down. I'm going a little too fast. One of the things in Zentangle is that we release all expectations. So while you're drawing, if you have any, I invite you to let those go so you can have more peace and serenity and get the benefits of meditation. So I'm going to move on to the next step. If you're not done, just start with me and you can always go back to what you're doing. So here comes the most complicated part of the whole tile, and it's not complicated, it just requires focus. Now, what I'd like to do, no, I'm not going to tell you. I was going to show you the step out, but I'll show you that later. It's very easy, just got to focus. So we're going to look at each box. So let's pick one box at a time. I'm going to pick the middle one so that I can be clearer and demonstrating. So there are 4 corners to each box. The first corner, we're going to draw a line, and you can do this with me, right to the edge of that section. So that top right corner of the box goes straight out to that section. Now with this pattern, the next box would go straight down. But instead of going straight, we're going to curve it the same direction that this is going. Just a slight curve. And while we're here, we're going to put another slight curve in the middle of this section. And now we're going to do the same here, but we're going to take that bottom corner, straight line to the edge. So for every box, the horizontal lines are the top right corner and the bottom left corner. So this will be in every box, and I'll just show you, so this is something that that's going to be in every box. And now while we're here, let's draw another line in the middle of this section. And that's going to be in every box too. So now we're going to do the same thing we did here on the top. So we did this bottom, these two are the same, right? And now these two are the same, opposites. So we're going to mimic this shape, and we're going to do a slightly curved line instead of straight to that edge. And now we're going to draw that curved line in the middle of that section. Now we're back to where we started. So we're going to put that horizontal line in the middle of this section. So this pattern is kind of like Kiko. If you think of Kiko, the lines go one way, then the other way, but we're just doing, we could even, we could fill these up with more lines, but we're not going to do that for this pattern. And that's what we're going to do. Now here's where it gets tricky. So I'm going to move to the next one. The only difference is this curved line is going in a different direction. So I'm going to start all the same way all the time. Top right, straight, bottom left, straight. Now look at that curve, and I'm going to draw that line in that same direction. Now I did this earlier, and I screwed up the direction, but nobody notices. Nobody, I showed it to you. You didn't notice. I'll show you later too. And then, so again here, got to do that way. And put that curved line in the middle there, curved line in the middle here, horizontal in the middle here, and horizontal there. And that's it. We're going to fill up all of these sections just like that. Nice and slow and relaxed. Breathing in and out. Letting go of the outcome. Whatever happens, happens. Turning your tile at any time. The name of this pattern, I should have given that to you, is Twile. Twile. Don't write it down yet. Let me make sure. Let me just double check that. Okay. Twile. Yep. Twile by Leslie Scott Gilliland. I'll put that down. Oh, can't even see how to spell that. Okay. Tortillon. I'm gonna show this to you anyways, in a moment. Actually, I'm gonna share my screen right now, and that way you can see the step out. And if you want to take a screenshot of that, you can. So this is the way it's done with the straight lines all across. I'm also going to show you while I'm here, this is what gave me the idea. This is Lynn Mead's little book that she used to sell these decks. And this is what we're doing, if you can see it on the bottom right. I think that looks so cool. So that's, and there's a little step out above that. If you want to take a screenshot of that, you're welcome to. And I can always bring this up later, but I'm going to stop my share right now. And afterwards, you can let me know if you want me to bring it back up. Okay, so we're going back to this. Oh, that's awesome. It's the shading that's going to really make this pattern come alive or pop. All right, we're going to move on to the next pattern. And again, if you're not ready, that's okay. Just start with me and then go back to it. So next pattern is patience. It's so funny. Patience is one of, oops, that's not what I want to do. Patience is one of my favorite patterns, but ever since I got into the TV show um, Ghosts, wait a minute, I'm trying to share my screen. I'm trying to chew gum and walk at the same time. Oh no. Every, ever since I started watching Ghosts, it's like a sitcom thing, cute little show. Every time I say Patience, I think of the character. There's a ghost named Patience in the show, some of you in the series, and every time I say Patience, I think of her. Okay, so let me share screen with you. I'm going to show you the step out. Some of you may already know it, and here it is. And I'm going to go through it, but in case you want to take a screenshot, it's Patience by Jody Genovese. Probably saying that wrong, but there we are. Gonna stop that. Oh, oh, patience. Patience. Okay, so here we are. So the way we're gonna do this is so easy and so much fun. And we're gonna focus on this bottom section here, and we're just gonna make some really big triangles. Just and don't worry about the pencil lines. They're going to disappear. You can erase them if you want to. You can use them if you want to, or just go right over them. Just nice big triangles. You can still have, you don't have to use up the whole paper unless you want to. I mean, like for example, here, I didn't go all the way to the edge. It curved up a little bit. That's fine. Whatever. It doesn't have to go all the way to the edge. Wherever those triangles can fit, just enjoy drawing these triangles. Nice and big if you can. When you're ready, just draw a little circle in the middle of each triangle. Nice and slow and relaxed, giving that circle your undivided attention. Breathing in and out with each circle. Turn in your tile if you want. Next step, we're going to draw a line from each corner to that inner circle of the triangle. Or you could say from the circle to each corner, whichever you do. Now, stay with me. Just do, well, I did two, but just do one. Because then the next step is we're now going to draw a line from that circle to each side. So kind of in between the two lines you just drew. So we have 6 sections. Now I'm going to do the next 2 steps in this one triangle. Lots of steps in this one triangle. But I'll give you all a minute because that was a little fast. So I'll do the lines again here. So this is kind of like Enzeppel, for those of you who know Enzeppel. We're going to squish a balloon in each section. But the difference is I want to go right up against this orb, this middle circle. I'm going to trace along round the corners like we do in Enzeppel, trace along round the corners, but I'm going to touch, rather than rounding that corner, I'm going to touch that inner circle. It doesn't matter. I've done it both ways. It's just what it looks like. The step out is more like that. But you always listen to your inner artist and do whatever feels good to you. There is no wrong in Zentangle. There is no right in Zentangle, although I always say everything is right. So there's no wrong. And we're going to do that in each section. And I'm still on one triangle now because there's still another step. Now what makes this pattern so cool is now I color in all the white spaces that are left in between, which we don't usually do in Enzeppel. There is a variation that I know Molly has done where she does do that, but typically it changes the whole look. So this gives it that drama. And then if you want, you can do a little flick or a few flicks, or you might wait to see if you want to do the flicks. Here's one I did with flicks and without. So these are without flicks, these are with. So you can maybe do them all and then go back and decide. It's totally up to you. Just to give you an idea, I made the triangles a lot smaller. And so you can see a different look there. It's kind of messy, but I didn't color it all in yet. Anyways, so that's it for this pattern. I'll just walk through it one more time and then I'll let us be quiet. So I drew that circle in the middle. We've got a line from each corner of the triangle to that center circle. Oh, and I suggest leaving the circle open. not coloring it in, because that really makes a difference, I think. You can always do whatever feels good to you. Now we draw a line from that center to each side. So we did the one to each point, now to each side of the triangle, and then we put in that orb, tracing each section, coming up to that center orb, rounding the corners on the bottoms. So I invite you to just really relax, go slow. I did say this was going to be 30 minutes. It's probably going to be a little bit longer, but who cares? This is a party. There's no strict time schedule. We have lots of time. I'd really like you to relax during this portion, if you like. So my goal for all my classes has always been to draw slow. It's not about completing the tile. It's about drawing slow, gaining the benefits of meditation without meditating. This is a form of meditation, though. And today especially, so if you're someone who really, loves to make sure that their tile is done before the session ends, we're going to have all afternoon to finish it. So when we start the next section, or any section, but the next section is going to be designed to continue working on it during our party if you so choose to. So my point is, if you don't finish during the class part, you can still work on it during our party and have it done by the end of our party. And one thing I like to do if I finish before to try to run in line, one, okay, fine. If you finish You're just waiting. One thing you could do is go back. I like to go back and just go over the parts that I colored in to make sure they're nice and solid. You can check for the white specks. It's just something that you could do if you wanted to. Some of you just start a new tile, I know that. I usually have another project I'm working on, like if I'm working on another tile or an opus, I have it nearby. And if I feel like I'm waiting too long for for the teacher, this easy to, to move on, I'll just start tangling on that. Or I'll just look outside and space out and relax. So in a minute, I'm going to start. I'm just about done here. I will start the next pattern. I'm sure many of you are ready. Some of you are not. It's all good. Oh, I have one more here. Let's see how people are doing here. Okay. And this is being recorded, so if some of you want to revisit this, I will have it posted on the Facebook page and the website. There'll be an announcement of where to find it. Okay. So I'm going to decide later. This looks kind of funny just sitting here, but I'll decide later if I want to put in some more of this or leave it open or put something else there. Kind of looks funny with that little, but I'll go back to it. Okay. So for this part, this part really went back and forth, back and forth. So this is one idea I had to put the pattern Mumsy in there and to embellish it a little bit. And of course, that embellishing would be we wouldn't have a whole lot of time to do that now. It would be during our party time, so that's one idea I had. The other idea you could put in, everyone loves a henna drum. So I was fooling around with henna drums, some leaves, some tamari. I think this is tamari. That was one idea. And then this is the one I decided to do. And of course, this is Flux embellished. So what I'd like to suggest to all of you is if you have a favorite pattern, a pattern you feel like drawing right now, put that in there. I'm going to do Flux. But you can, if you feel like that's a great opportunity to bring in something else you might like. Now, I had a cool analogy the other day. I don't know about you guys, but if I find a blouse or an outfit, something that looks good, feels good, I want to get one in different patterns, different colors. Like so I remember I bought this shirt, not this shirt, but a shirt that I was wearing, and I went online and there was all these different colors and patterns. And that's what Zentangle's like, right? We can get a same exact pattern with different patterns. Okay, if that makes sense. Like I'm going to show you Flux embellished here. This is an opus tile I'm working on. So Flux can just be Flux, or you can get one in different patterns. Get a Flux in a different pattern. So here's a different design, right? Here's a Flux. And we do this all the time in Zentangle. We take a pattern and we design it very different. There's so many options. So that's how I think of a Zentangle design. We can get the same Zentangle and with pattern with different designs. Anyways, so let me start with the Flux. So here's, I think, the way
Jacki,
yeah,
would you show that first tile that you showed before it was a floral?
Mumsy. This one?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the step out for that so you can see it and you can take a screenshot. Give me a minute here. Let's see. That's not it. Let's go back. Mumsy. Here's Mumsy. And so that's the pattern Mumsy, but we're going to get Mumsy in different styles, different patterns. So you could take a screenshot of that. Stop share. And then there I did it with all different embellishments. I know, I love that look. I love it. And what's nice about this pattern, why I wanted to choose it today is it's very meditative because you're just drawing it and creating auras. But I'm going with Flux because I said I was going to go with Flux. Um, but you know what? I'll just show you. Like if you were going to go do Mumsy, I'll just start it here. You can start it with this little blob or with anything you want, but the step out shows it with a blob. It shows it with five rather than four. And then you do these big orbs, and then you grow it. And then you aura them inside. And it's very meditative because you're just drawing these lines over and over. And then you can embellish them by putting in orbs or whatever you want to do. So there's Mumsy if you'd like to do that. So when I did a flux this way, I used these lines. I'm going to do it different. I'm going to do it this time, but I used these lines and I just kind of, along those lines, I just drew my flux like going up a vine. But what I'd like to do this time is go up following here. So I'm going to, I might do both. So let's kind of go like this. So flux, I think most of you know flux, but I'll show you for those of you who might not. You just kind of come up, and I am going up the line here. I'm curving over and coming in. And actually, the way I'm drawing these flux now, like I put those in by habit, but I'm suggesting not to put anything in them yet. Just kind of draw these fluxes very organically, all different directions. And then once you've got them all in, you can then decide how you'd like to embellish them. And this is the part where we can save, we'll do our shading, but we can save this part for something to work on during our party. And so let me show you this. This is what I had experimented with, all different types of designs. We've got some night bridge inside. We've got hugging seas on the outside with polka dots, orbs. We've got so many different things, little hair pieces, beanies, I call them. This is kind of like a moon pie inside of this one. The pattern moon pie. So many different things you can do. So I'll do one. So I like to kind of aura it. Maybe give it a few auras. And I think inside this, I'll put in some orbs. Some small, some all different sizes. Then on the outside, I think I'll put in some of these, almost like, well, I was going to say barber, well, I guess more like night bridge. There's a pattern called barber pole I used to like a lot, but I don't remember I don't remember exactly how it is. So anyways, okay. So that's something we can work on if you'd like during today, but let's do some shading. So before we shade, we have to all come back to gallery view. I'm coming, so please go to gallery view. I'd like you all to please unmute yourselves and for our tortillon toast. So get your tortillon ready. I will come back to you. I am recording this part, so uh, hold up your tortillon, unmute yourselves, and when I count to three, I would like us all to say tortillon. I've never missed a class. I've taught over 500 classes. I've done a tortillon toast for over 12 years now. So ready? One, two, three. Tortillon!
Tortillon! Tortillon.
Beautiful.
Tortillon.
Thank you. So now I'll go back to my camera, go back to speaker view, and here we are. And you can mute yourselves again. I'll only mute everybody if I start hearing something. Oh, I'm hearing something, so I'm going to mute everybody. So easy. What a great button. Okay, now let's pick up. We are ready to shade. Since we did our tortillon toast, let's take our pencil. And here comes the fun part with this middle. So we're going to, with the side of the tip of our pencil, we're going to go right over that line. I'm going to favor the right side of this line a little bit. So we're just focusing on Twile right now. So I'm going over that line or staying to the right of it. Now, as you all know, if you're experienced, you can shade any way you like. This is just the way I decided to shade today. So for each one, finding that line. And I'm going pretty dark. And when you're ready, you take your tortillon and you smooth it out. And push it up a little bit. You can go over that middle line, so a little bit comes over on the other side. I just have a little bit that goes over on the other side, but I keep most of it onto the right of that line. Pay attention to how the paper is sounding, the tortillon on the paper, the sound it makes. Watch how that graphite starts to expand and smooth out. How does that tortillon feel in your hands or hand? Okay. The other part of shading I like to do now, we can also do like underneath things. But before we do that, I would like to go on the outside of the twile. So I'm going into my patience, but I'm just putting some graphite down and smoothing it out on the outside of this twile, which I think once it's shaded looks like a magic carpet ride. Looks like a little carpet flying. Aladdin's magic carpet. And I was going to do the other side, but I think I'll do just a little bit. Because everyone's is going to be a little different. So you might want to take a look to see if you want to put any shading on the top part or not. Just putting just a little bit on the outside. I'm also going to bring in some shading in the corners. Just putting some graphite down in the corners. Just what my inner artist is telling me to do. It might not be telling you to do that. Always listen to your inner artist, not the CZT. Well, you should listen to your CZT, of course, but your inner artist is more in tune with what I believe we all should be paying attention to. And that's just your intuition. So we could like put some graphite wherever you see it overlapping or going under. So what I'm doing is since I put so much graphite down here, I'm just putting grabbing some tortillon, putting it from here, putting it on my, grabbing some graphite, putting it on my tortillon, and then dabbing some in these little spots where I think it could use it. And usually wherever it looks like it's going underneath. And I'm going to do the same thing with patience. I'm just going to get my, because I have so much graphite here, you guys might not, you might want to use your pencil. So I'm going to put a little bit around those circles. Sometimes if they're small, I'll just dab a little, just a little bit anywhere. Sometimes just putting it anywhere, it works. But I'm going around that circle and maybe a little bit on the tops, just a little dab. Most of you are very experienced at this, so. And I'm not doing anything with my flux because I'm not done with that yet. I'll shade that later. I'm definitely going to do something with this, I'll tell you. I'm going to be filling these in. But while I'm here, I am going to put my chop on. So I suggest I have no problem putting my chop on before it's done. I just don't. So uh, maybe a good rule, 3/4 of the way done, put your chop on. I don't know. Um, okay. So here's what we're going to do now. We're going to do a screenshot. And actually, I'm going to end the recording. So for those of you watching the recording, I hope you enjoyed this. And sorry you weren't here live.